Hey y'all, it's Desiree and I'm back with another video. And for this video, God is saying to trust yourself because he trusts you. I know for some of y'all, as y'all get closer to the things that God has promised in this new life, as some of y'all begin to step into ministry, step further into ministry, as some of y'all begin to step into marriage, step into financial increase, you have found yourself feeling like you won't be able to hold what it is that God has for you, and you won't be able to hold it properly. You feel anxious and worrisome concerning fumbling the ball. But God is saying to trust yourself because he trusts you with it. And some of y'all feel overwhelmed at the thought of what it is that God has been promising you. Because although you cannot fully perceive it in your mind, what it is that God is doing, what it is that God is bringing you, you can sense on your spirit, you can fully perceive it in your spirit, and it feels so heavy, it feels so huge, it feels so great, and that overwhelms you. But God is saying that he is giving you the legs to stand up in it. He's giving you the hands to hold it, and he's giving you the legs to stand up in it. And he's reminding me of this vision that I had, and I was standing up, but my legs were weak and they were shaking, and I felt so much fear, but not fear in the sense of being afraid, but like an excited fear. I was in awe of what it was that I was standing in front of, and I said, God, how am I going to be able to hold what it is that you have for me? And all of a sudden, I seen these braces, like those polio braces that they used to wear on their legs, but it was made out of bronze. And as those braces were being put on, I felt my legs lock back into place. My legs felt very strong. They felt secure. And I felt in my spirit God saying, because I'm going to make you stand up in it. So let that be your confirmation today. God is going to make you stand up in it. God is going to show you how to stand up in it. You thought that God was just waiting on you to have the perfect faith for it. But this whole time, God has been teaching you how to stand up in it. Unbeknownst to you, God has been teaching you how to hold this thing that he's promised you. For some of you, the enemy is trying to flood your mind saying, but are you sure you're going to be able to stand up? Are you sure you're going to be able to walk in your authority? Are you sure you're going to really be able to do what God has set you for to do? What God has called you for to do? As if this whole time, God has not been preparing you. All your life, you've been being prepared for this moment. Don't let the enemy cause you to question your qualities when God has already deemed you overqualified. You're not just ready, you're ready. You're not just worth it, you're worthy. You didn't just stumble into this blessing. You didn't just stumble into this breakthrough. You didn't just find yourself one day perfectly positioned. God has brought you here. God has led you here, and you will hold that. That thing that the enemy is trying to say is too big for you, you will hold that. When the enemy realizes that he cannot cause you to doubt, when the enemy realizes that he cannot cause you to go back on your faith, when he realizes that he can no longer get you to second guess God's word, he would then try to get you to second guess yourself. Because I know I can trust God, but I can't trust myself. But God is saying, trust you because I trust you. Believe in yourself because I believe in you. Because while you were walking around afflicted, God was still looking at you saying, but I always knew you could do it. When you were walking around in your sin, God looked at you saying, but I always knew that you could do it. When you were walking around bitter, upset, and angry, God was looking at you saying, but I always knew you could do it. This didn't just start today. This didn't just start in 2023. God didn't just pick you up in 2022. This has been a preparation since birth. God has been training your hands since birth. God has been training your legs since birth. God has been training your mind, your heart, your spirit since birth. God has been preparing you for this up-leveling since birth. Some of y'all have been saying, how am I going to get on camera and tell this testimony? How am I going to stand in front of this crowd and tell this testimony? What you mean walk up to that stranger and tell my testimony as if he hasn't planted that testimony in your womb since birth? The situation, the circumstance may be new to you. It's not new to God. You may be walking into a new season, but it's not new to God. God went to work even before you even touch your mother's womb. It's not new to God. Trust yourself because God trusts you. Bet on yourself because God bets on you. Count on yourself because God counts on you. It has always been His will for you to have and to hold. That thing that you may once have doubted, that position that you may once have doubted, has always been yours to have and to hold. While you are going through 1,000,001 reasons why it can't be you, why it shouldn't be you, why somebody else would be more qualified, why somebody else would be more worthy, it has always been you. While you had 1,000,001 doubts, concerns, and worries, fears, unbeknownst to you, there were 1,000,001 seeds planted in you, waiting on the appointed time, waiting to sprout, waiting to be brought forth, waiting to be called forth. It has always been you. So receive in confidence what God has for you, because it has always been you. Go forth, walk forth in confidence, like you know who you are, like you know what God spoke over you, because it has always been you. Stop trying to plan it out ahead of time. Stop trying to make it make sense ahead of time, and just go for what you know, because it has always been you. Stop saying, well, I don't even know if I'm going to know what to say. How do I know the right words to say? Listen, it has always been you. Go for what you know. It's already in your heart. It's already rooted in your soul. It's wired in your DNA, because it has always been you. God has given you the perfect hands to have and to hold. And God has perfected your legs so that you could stand up in it. So stand on that.